Second. And there we are. I believe we are live, folks. Give me 2 seconds to make sure. Yep, we are live. Didn't do this beforehand, so y'all got to see me do it in real time. I'm going to share it out here on Twitter. But what's happening, everybody? Welcome to the latest episode of the Sim Standard Podcast with myself and Smitty. And as you can see, Smitty is not in his normal environment. He's in a hotel. He's with his family. So we roughing it tonight. Y'all know how we do. Family first. You know, I'll let Smitty chime in if he wants, to tell you guys why he's in a hotel. I'm not doing it because I don't do that. I don't tell my people's business. But yeah, so that's how it's going to be. So I'm just letting you know already, being at a hotel may not have the strongest connection. So bear with Smitty if you can't hear him all the way, or if he can't hear me all the way. Background noise obviously is going to happen. So whatever, guys, we don't do this for a living. This is casual. It's fun. And because, it's weird. Some people have complained about that, Smitty, and you know how we feel. Listen, man, this is a side fun thing that we do. Nobody is working at ESPN. This ain't First Take.
Right.
We ain't in the studio together. I mean, y'all just got to deal with it, man. It's casual fun.
Yeah.
But anyway, tonight we're going to get into what we didn't get into last week. I apologize for that, guys. Because kind of some last minute stuff. Me and Smitty couldn't make the show happen last week. And actually, let me say this too, really quick. I'm sure Smitty doesn't mind. Going forward, man, I think what we might start doing, and me and Smitty can talk offline, maybe we'll start talking about more real life topics here and there, or, maybe if it's a slow month, maybe we'll step back and do it maybe every 2 weeks or something like that. And the reason why I say that, I don't care either way. We could do it every week. But I'm going to be honest with y'all. I'm tired of talking about Madden. I am. Smitty knows that. I'm tired of it, man. And I swear, I don't have the energy to do it every week. Now, tonight, I'm sure me and Smitty will dabble into it a little bit because of where we're going with it. But I'm just saying, man, it's like every week it seems like even if we don't talk about it, then the chat brings it. It's like I can't do it, man. So I think with me and Smitty, and there's only but so much gaming going on. I think what we should start doing, because you guys like our perspectives, maybe we'll start throwing some real life topics in the mix. When Battlefield and other games come out, we'll do all that kind of stuff instead of being so sports focused. I know that's where you guys kind of pin us, but y'all tell us what you think. We don't want to give you something you don't want. So, kind of dwell on that. And, I'll mention it at the end of the show too. And y'all let us know, man, if y'all would like us to take it in different directions from time to time and not stick to because let's face it, Smitty and I are known as the Madden guys. That's why most of y'all follow us. But it ain't a lot to talk about with this game, man. It's just not. It ain't it. It's just, you know what I mean? And Smitty knows what I'm saying. It ain't worth our time to talk about Madden every week because there's no excitement really for the game right now, unfortunately. But all right, that's just my little piece. But what we do plan to get into tonight, we definitely want to chime in on EA losing the exclusive license to FIFA and how that could affect maybe way down the road Madden. I don't think you guys are going to like my opinion on it as far as if I think it's going to affect Madden, but we'll see. We'll give some light thoughts on NHL, and I say light because honestly, I'm such a novice to the game. I can only give you, if you've been watching my FIFA videos, I can only give you my thoughts based on the general things I look at in sports games in general. So I can't say how sim or non-sim it is because I'm not a hockey guy. And then any other little topics that you guys come up with in the chat. And that'll be the show. But I'll throw it to Smitty first, man. We didn't have a show last week, so if you want to bring everybody up to speed, how was the last week or two been for you? Any thoughts you have on your Lions? And anything else you want to dive into before we get into the main topics?
Yeah. First of all, everything's been cool. As far as the hotel situation thing, I'll just say that, when you're a homeowner, sometimes you have some issues that take place, and you got to be displaced from the house to get them handled. So just got some stuff going on, and but everything will be smoothed out. So we're good. We're good though. As far as the Lions are concerned, well, actually, didn't get to talk last week because I had went to that Bengals game. So that was actually my first time going to Ford Field for a game. Last time I had went there was a long time ago. I want to say '04, '05 for a Eminem 50 Cent concert. So that was long time ago when I had last went to Ford Field. But I will definitely say, even though we got blasted, I won't say we got blasted. I would say our defense eventually broke when it came to us holding up against the Bengals because our offense couldn't convert. And that's like the ongoing problem. Like, it's beyond the whole Jared Goff situation. I mean, we weren't looking for him to be the savior or the answer, but I mean, heck, even I was up here saying put in David Blau. You know what I'm saying? And Blau is not exactly much better, but still, I was saying put him in because it's like Goff was not. And I mean, the seats that I have, y'all saw, if you saw on Twitter, I took the picture. I was 8 rows up, and it's like I'm looking, and I'm like, bro, like you got some targets that are like downfield. If you just, I mean, I wouldn't even be mad if you took the attempt to get it down there.
Right.
And it's like you didn't even do that. He was just being checked down Charlie dang near the whole game. And it just was very upsetting because we don't have the 2001 Ravens defense. Okay. So it's like our defense is, and mad props to the coaching staff, especially how they hung in there this past week against the Rams. I expected them to get absolutely annihilated. And for them to hang that close, that says a lot. And see, that's the thing I'll say when I chat with people. It's like, I'm like, look at what Dan Campbell and this coaching staff is doing with the very little amount of talent that they got. Like, they don't have much talent, especially offensively. They're just not talented like that. So it's like, just imagine if they actually had talent on both sides of the ball that were like, at least I would even say average. Like, we would have a winning record right now. Like, I honestly believe that we would have a winning record right now. So it's like, it's funny, man, because here in Detroit, man, you have people that, like I said before, they were calling for they wanted to rebuild. They didn't mind if they lost. Some people didn't mind if they lost all the games or if they only win 2 or 3. Me personally, I said if they win, I would say 3 to 5 games. That's what's up. But even some of the radio personalities that talk about this team, like they're up here like, man, I don't know. It's looking kind of scary. If they go into the bye week and they haven't won yet, I don't know. And it's like, but weren't you on the radio saying you're okay if these dudes win 0 to 2 games? Like, so it's like people want these rebuilds, but they can't honestly handle the fact the team needs to rebuild. Like, they want it to happen, but then when it comes time to go through it, they don't want to go through it. They expect us to win anyways. You know what I'm saying? It's like, bro, you got to give these dudes some time. That's why Dan Campbell was signed to a 6-year deal. This is going to be a haul. Now, if he looks like he don't know what he's doing, then get him out of there beforehand. But as of this point right now, they're doing a good job considering. So as far as that's concerned, look, they pulled trick plays. They try. I respect him going for it on 4th down at times and everything. Like, I respect. He is a assertive kind of gung ho kind of coach, making gutsy calls and things like that. I appreciate that. Keep it up. Keep it up. because the Lions don't have an identity established, and it's going to take them a moment before they can really establish one. But from a coaching standpoint, yeah, these guys are, I mean, huge props to the defensive coordination. Huge props, because those guys are doing a good job. They did a solid job against the Rams too, which I was very surprised. I will say this: you got to give props to the O-line too. Even though they were missing key guys, you were missing Frank Ragnow. They held Aaron Donald in check.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And
That
hey,
was a pretty tight game too for a while, man.
yeah. So that's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. Like
That was a good
it,
one.
yeah. And I think that one pass Goff had where he missed DeAndre Swift, I think he threw the pass slightly behind him. I think that would have been that would have been a play where if he caught that ball clean, he would have been able to take it into the end zone, because I think he only had like one defender in front of him. So, and he was like, and I was like near or in the red zone, I think. So it's like, to see the game basically come down to that point, and then Goff threw the interception when they got down to the red zone again. But yeah, man, Lions, I give them the A for effort. I'll give them the A for effort, no question. And as far as the Pistons, look, we're not expecting these guys to win. Folk in Detroit once again need to chill. Folk up here calling Killian Hayes a bust and everything. Dude hasn't even played 30 games.
Hey, how many games has it been?
That's what I'm saying. He
Come
hasn't
on,
even
man.
played 30 games in his NBA career. You know what I'm saying? And it's like people already throwing the talent on him. Like, let the kid actually become something. And then even with Cade, because of his injuries, like I posted in a little group on Facebook, I said, next you're going to see people say Cade Cunningham's a bust because he's injury prone and he's too soft and can't take any contact. Like, it's like, people are going way overboard on these guys. And like, they don't need to rush anything. This Pistons team, it's going to be an 82-game season this year. So who knows what may happen with this team. But let these young guys develop. Sadiq Bey, excuse me, my man Stewart, you know what I'm saying? Isaiah Stewart, Frank Jackson, he's a solid contributor. Not Sadiq Bey, excuse me. Gosh, dang, I can't even think of the guard right now. It's slipping my mind right now. The point guard that we got, dang it, it's slipping my mind. Undrafted point guard. I can't think of his name. But the point is, all the guys are young players. Let these young guys go through their development highs, go through their lows, go through their in-betweens, see where their flaws are at. Let's see what these dudes can do for the next 2-3 seasons, maybe 4, and see what they're able to bring to the table. So, but no, other than that, man, that's all I got, dude, as far as the local stuff, man. Just looking forward to see what the Lions do against the Eagles. More than likely they'll lose that game. As well, because our offense is just, we can't move the ball. We don't have a quarterback that could really move the ball downfield like that. So, and I highly doubt we're going to put our name in the hat for the Deshaun Watson. Well, I wouldn't say sweepstakes, because we don't even know if he'll be able to play. You know what I'm
That's
saying?
the thing. That's what many people are missing. Because Steelers fans doing it too.
Yeah. So.
It's, guys, if it wasn't an issue with Deshaun Watson, let's just say it. And I'm not saying it's an issue, because I don't know what's true, what's false. Y'all know how I am. It's allegations until you're proven guilty. Plain and simple. But come on, man. If there wasn't an issue with Deshaun Watson in terms of a question mark, he would be more than likely still playing for the Texans, even though he was kind of disgruntled against them, which ironically, that's when everything started happening. I don't know if it's a conspiracy or not. I'm just saying, look at the timeline. But it's just not that simple with Deshaun Watson, folks. Organizations, I'm sure, don't want to take that chance. It sounds like, if according to reports, that perhaps Miami is willing to take the chance, and we'll see how that turns out. I kind of feel like just me personally, I kind of feel like they're backing away from a guy like Tua a little too soon. Still, listen, you invested a pick on him, an early pick. Give him a little more chance. I don't know if I could call Tua a bust at this point. I don't know. I don't watch a lot of Miami games. I'm just saying, young guy. He definitely was talented in college. I mean, maybe give him a little more time. I don't know. I don't know the situation. But at the end of the day, if Deshaun Watson didn't have these allegations and such on him, none of this would be a conversation right now. So, to me, it's a little strange, in my opinion, for fans to be campaigning for him, and not only campaigning for him, but they're basically urging their team to go get him. And you're stupid if you don't get him. Like, no, there's a question mark. You just don't know. You know what I'm saying? So, all the best to him, man. Other than that, let's get the worst of the news out the way. I don't know what these Sixers doing.
No.
Knicks gave it to him pretty handily the other night. They got distractions there, man. And I think things will settle in at some point. Who knows what's going to happen with Simmons? I don't know, man. But I think they still have talent on the team to still win games. I don't know if I'm having them as a favorite out of the East at this point. I mean, again, I'm realistic about the teams I like. But, and look, the Knicks, they snapped, what was it, a 15 or 16 game losing streak? So, I mean, they was due a win anyway. But still, the Sixers just don't look good in some of these games. They don't look cohesive, focused. I don't know. They just look a little off right now. And again, like I said, maybe the distractions are doing it. Maybe it's a lot on a kid like Maxi's shoulders, the amount of time that he's getting in. I don't know. We'll see. And I'll watch him a little more and see, what kind of thoughts I have later on. Steelers stuff. Hey, they 3-3. Big game this week. Because me personally, not only do I say I kind of know what my team is by week 6 or 7, I stretched it to 7 this year since we have the extra game. We're going to know Sunday. Whether they win or lose, we're going to know what the Pittsburgh Steelers really is. And let me just set the stage. Cleveland. Cleveland is 4-3. Cleveland also can't say they sent you home. They sent you back in your locker room last year in that playoff game because it was in Pittsburgh. They gave you the business in that game. Okay? Cleveland are not the same Browns anymore in terms of the Steelers. We can no longer say that. We can no longer say that about Cleveland because they just beat us in our own house in the playoffs, a home playoff game. Cincinnati is looking like the best team in the AFC North today. Don't count the Ravens out, though, even though they stomped the Ravens. Don't count them out. They can run that football, and as long as Lamar Jackson is the man at the helm of that, they're going to be fine. Pittsburgh right now is looking like the team that could very well be at the bottom, not just record-wise, but long-term. We might be the worst team collectively in the AFC North. We will see. If they lose to Cleveland Sunday, that's major because, number one, that's another AFC opponent. But more importantly, number two, an AFC North opponent, which that will then put us 0-2 because, remember, the Bengals already got us in the division. So this is a tough game, and it's in Cleveland on Halloween. The dog pound going to be out, boy. They're going to be in full effect. That dog pound section, they're going to be going crazy out there. But we'll see, man. And again, I just don't get too high on the team when it's, maybe because I somewhat report on them now, I can be more objective. I've been telling y'all the Steelers are not that great a team right now. They're getting their foot, going. They're rebuilding the O-line. Ben is aging out. I mean, it's our time to kind of struggle a little bit. You got to face the facts. But we'll see. Other than that, Smitty, I know you saw it. Mike Tomlin, man. man, do I love the way he responded to those questions about him coaching college. And I'm going to just leave it at that because I could be here all day talking about it. It's just, in so many ways, I was proud of the way he handled it. Was also proud at the fact that he mentioned those other two coaches, and those two coaches specifically, very strategic. It was not a disrespect to Sean Payton or Andy Reid whatsoever. For those of you that know why he said that, it's for you to know. For those who are stuck in the wind, don't understand what happened there, then it's not for me to explain. But most people understood what he was trying to accomplish by saying that. And how disrespectful is it, man? Let's just be honest for a minute. Taking my bias off the table, let's just be 100% honest, because I said this on Terrible Child Tuesday. In sports, because even Tomlin said he has one of the best jobs in sports. If you are the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys, that's a premier job. Head coach of, let me see who else. Maybe Packers. Might throw Packers in there, perhaps. It's a premier job. The head coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers. It's a premier job. If you are the head coach for the New York Knicks, it's a premier job. Head coach of the Los Angeles Lakers. That is a premier job. If you are the manager of the New York Yankees, that is a premier job. And if you are the head coach of Alabama, that is a premier job. My point is, taking my bias aside, the Pittsburgh Steelers is one of the most storied organizations in the NFL. I mean, that's just facts. Like I said, I give credit to the Cowboys, even the Niners at times, the Packers. There's a lot of teams out there that's historic. They are really, they're real figures, whether they're winning or losing, especially the Cowboys. Whether the Cowboys win or lose, they're always relevant, ain't they? It's a premier job. So to suggest a man like Mike Tomlin, why would he take a step down? And what would be the reason? He's not on any hot seat. You know what I mean? So it was just weird, man. It was kind of weird. It came out kind of as a wish list thing, and I think some of the media just blew it out of proportion. And, for the reporter to ask the way he did, come on, man, you got to know the answer to that. But yeah, Breezy, that's it. Only 3 in my lifetime. Listen, and the funny thing is, I've only seen 2. I have only physically seen 2. I went around for Chuck Noll. So that's just goes to show you right there. But yeah, let's get into it, man. Wait, somebody said if Deshaun Watson gets traded, he can play. I mean, I don't think it's so much a question of him playing. It's just that let's say he does play, he gets traded and he plays, but then what happens if these allegations actually hit? That's what I'm saying. Like it's a risk to take for any organization right now to do that. I won't address that here, JJ Walker, but I will. I'll do it independently. I'm gonna do an independent video on that maybe tomorrow. But yeah, I will address that there. But all right, man, let's get to the topics. First one on the docket. I guess we can knock the first one out. FIFA. I'll give my quick opinion on it, and then I definitely want Smitty to dive into it. So, as we all know now, it's been about 2 weeks or so. And I typed it up as EA loses the license. Listen, I don't know all the logistics, but you guys can understand basically what I'm saying and where I'm coming from. Remember, we saw at first that there was speculation. Okay? We followed the timeline. We first saw that there was speculation that EA was thinking about changing the name. So they were saying, okay, we're not going to call it FIFA. Remember, that was the first report. Shortly after that, FIFA comes out and says that they are taking the exclusive license away after FIFA 22. They will no longer be working with just EA Sports. They will allow other game companies or other whatever you want to call them, I guess, gaming companies will be able to take a crack at their representation of the game as well. This is not anything new in terms of sports. I mean, sports leagues do this all the time. The NBA, of course, we know still does it. And whenever NBA Live actually comes back, there's more than one basketball game, whether you hate it or love it. The NFL once did that way back in the day. Most of us remember NFL FIFA and NFL 2K and Madden, and I mean, there's many others that had NFL on it, right? NFL Game Day, plenty of these games. This is not anything new, okay? We once saw the MLB had more than one title. NHL had more than one company making the title. It's nothing new. However, this is what's interesting. They threw the figure out there where the speculation, or not even speculation, it was reported that the license was $1 billion. Woo! Now, let me tell you, I didn't know that the license was that much. And hey, I don't even know how much the NFL license could be that. Who knows? But that is a lot of money. But this is where I interject, Smitty, and where I'm a little confused. You're not going to tell me that this FIFA license has been cheap all this time. So is it a money play? Could be. Can EA, the conglomerate EA, Electronic Arts, like the total thing, not just EA Sports, can they afford it? I'm pretty sure. Pretty sure they've made $1 billion over, like 10 times over, probably as a collective. They're a billionaire company.
They make that in a quarter. Way more than that in a quarter. You know what I'm saying?
So when you make that kind of money, is that too expensive for you? No, I don't think so. I mean, I've never had $1 billion. I'm just saying, I don't think that is the real issue, because some people are saying, well, EA just doesn't want to make them any more money. Nah, I'm not buying that, because for years upon years upon years upon years, you've been paying for this license. You have built a foundation with FIFA. You have challenged pairs with FIFA. You became the household name with FIFA. So now all of a sudden you're going to back out? No, I think it is FIFA. I think FIFA is making the play. Now, what I don't know, because again, people's speculation online has run rampant. I have no way to prove this. None of you guys do. But I see a lot of people saying, oh, FIFA is fed up with EA. How do we know that? Because we can't say it's a bad product. At least I can't. It's not a bad game to my knowledge. I don't know. I don't know soccer. But it doesn't seem like a game that's in trouble like other sports titles may have been. It's not like Live. You know what I'm saying? They still sell a ton of units. So I do feel like, for whatever reason, FIFA has some type of either riff with EA, or they kind of do feel like, you know what, let's open this thing up. Maybe they think they make more money doing that. But I'm not going to jump on the train of saying it's because EA hasn't produced, because I'm seeing that, Smitty. Ain't it weird how we'll say a certain thing about Madden, but then you'll see people, even within the Madden community, that will say, well, no, FIFA's tired of EA's nonsense. But I don't show evidence of that in FIFA's game. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. I can't say that about FIFA. FIFA, to me, seems like a pretty solid game. Again, I don't know how sim it is or isn't, because I don't know soccer, like pacing and formation. I don't know none of that stuff. Y'all saw my videos. See how much fun I'm having with that game? Dog, bruh, that, man, listen, me and Smitty gonna get into that too when we get into the NHL stuff. I'm just saying, folks, I do think it's something coming from FIFA. What I don't know is it a beef, or are they attempting to make more money, allowing other game companies to get in? And then the last thing I will say, and we always do it, and I'm the main one that said I don't want to talk about it. But let me just end the speculation with the Madden stuff. Just my opinion. We don't see that happen with the NFL, because, immediately, Smitty, our timeline went crazy. Oh, I even put up a post, and I kind of poked fun at it and said, oh, this is interesting. Like, I did the eyeballs, like, y'all see this? And everybody came back with the NFL needs to be next. The
Yeah.
NFL should do that. I don't blame you guys, but I don't think we're in the same boat because let's not forget what they just recently did. They had the opportunity to not renew EA's 5 or 6 year, whatever it was. I think it was a 5-year extension. And then they sided with 2K for a non-simulation game. To me, it doesn't make sense for them to do that just a year or so ago to now turn around and say, you know what, we're gonna do what FIFA did, and we're gonna. I don't see it because, like I said, just from a business standpoint, they could have just made that decision. Like recently, they could have done that a little over a year ago. See what I'm saying? unless there's a caveat, Madden starts to take a huge dive monetarily, then maybe the NFL says, you know what, maybe we made the wrong decision. You know what, let's break this off. But I don't see that. I don't see that. The game is still selling. So don't get your hopes up there. Don't get your hopes up that what FIFA did is going to influence the NFL to do the same thing. That's just my 2 cents on that. So, but what you think, Smitty, man? What was your initial thoughts hearing about the FIFA situation? And, you know, how do you think it will affect the game? And, you know, definitely want to hear your opinion on whose idea do you think this was? Is it more FIFA's play, or is it EA saying, well, you know what, we're not going to make them any more money. We're going to do our own thing?
I think it was more of EA because EA could have easily paid for that. You know what I'm saying? Now, I don't remember what 2K did when it came to them re-upping with the NBA, but I know they paid a massive amount of money. And it wasn't, and once again, it wasn't even an exclusive deal. That's the thing. But I think their licensing deal was a pretty hefty cost. But see, that's the thing. Like NBA 2K as well as FIFA. FIFA sells like, you know, they usually sell 14, 15 million copies. So, and I mean, now one thing that you hear from the soccer gaming community, like they clown on FIFA in regards to gameplay issues and woes. So while like what Sim said, like while him and I will play the game, have fun and enjoy it and be like, yo, this game is tight. Look at this, that, and third. Their community doesn't take novelty in that. You see what I'm saying? Or I should say their hardcore community is not going to take, you know, value in it. They're going to just be like, man, that's nothing, man. You got this issue with passing, and you got, you know, how come all these teams feel the exact same and there's no real replication, etc. So it's like there will be some things that they will that people will complain about, but they're still selling the copies. So it's like from what Sim is saying, they're selling units, but what about these other leagues? Because see, the NFL is just one league. That's the thing about it. See, the name FIFA being removed does not mean all these leagues are gone. So that doesn't mean next year's soccer game, you know, they're going to call it EAFC, but that doesn't mean that it's all of a sudden just done. And you won't see Premier League. You won't see La Liga or whatever. You won't see any of those leagues anymore. Like they're just all going to be gone. Not necessarily, because that's the one thing. Like when we talk about the NFL having their exclusivity, it's just one league. That doesn't count for any other league players can come from. Like, you know, let's say if your NFL Europe was still active. NFL Europe is its own league. The Arena Football League is its own league. The USFL or whatever? That's its own league. You see what I'm saying? There's no deals in place for EA to acquire all of those teams, you know, or those leagues, I should say. While EA was doing with FIFA, they had all those different leagues to go along with it. So it all mattered. So I don't know. It's interesting. I think overall that the impact of it, I don't think it's going to be a big impact because, like I said, they still have deals in place with all these other teams and with these other leagues. So they may be good for whatever it is that they're doing. You know what I'm saying? We just got to wait and see how everything plays out in due time. So, but yeah, I mean, just like how we have our disgruntled moments about Madden, it's the same thing with FIFA. But I mean, and that's the other thing too. They did offer up, they did give EA an offer to buy the license. I think from what SGL said, like, yeah, I think it was like 600 million or something like
Yeah,
that for
I
them to
saw a
re-up.
billion somewhere, and I don't
Something
know if
like
it's
that,
true or
or a
not, but
billion, yeah, like
yeah, it
closer
was
to a
something
billion or
crazy.
something like that. But the point is, you know, EA, as we know, like when it comes to Madden, they play cheaper to keeper. So it's like to see them be like, man, we're gonna take the name off. Oh no, don't take the name off. You know what? No, we got this relationship, blah blah blah. What can we do? Okay, well, you got to do this, that, and the third. When they don't truly want to do it, then it's like, man, forget about it. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I don't really know how to
Yeah,
call it when it comes to FIFA because they've been playing cheaper to keeper to a degree because they have a lot of long-standing issues too, just like how we talk about Madden having long-standing issues. So it's like if we can finesse it where we still got all the leagues, all the players, and we got the main league, which, well, at least as far as we know, which is the Premier League. That's like the marquee league. That's like, an NBA, so to speak. So it's like if we got the option for that, okay, whatever. We'll just do that instead. So we got to wait and see how it all plays out. But I mean, if they can still get the same amount of success, just basically leveraging league and player licenses, but not necessarily having whatever else comes with having the FIFA branding, that would be amazing. So, yeah, so we got to see about that one.
yeah, man, and it's funny because I'm actually gonna show you guys this really quick. Uh, this is not a shameless plug, I promise you. Anytime I do anything else, I don't get no views. Look at this. People don't watch my other stuff, man. It's so funny. But I want you guys to just look at, for you guys who didn't see it, without even hearing the commentary, just look at this game in motion. And I want to say this because I don't know soccer. I don't know the rules. I'm always called for offsides. I'm starting to kind of get it a little bit in terms of not being offsides because they illustrate when they show you a little graphic telling you when you're offsides. But when I judge a sports game, I'm looking for the things that I always talk about: player interaction, AI, physics, both on player and on ball, animation, animation quality. Look at this. Just look at how it looks. You don't have to hear the commentary. Look at how smooth this game is. Now, granted, I even said it in this video. Hey, I will give Madden credit. Their player movement has improved. It has improved with the next gen technology and the RFID technology now being year 2 of that. Player movement has significantly changed. It could be better still. You could still improve. But this right here, look at how clean everything looks. And I'm about to swivel it around here. Swivel, what an old word that is. Look at how I wasn't stuck in the animation. I'm playing with the Philadelphia team here in the dark blue, right? And I was able to pull off everything that my mind wanted to do. Try to score. That was a stupid attempt right there. But I kicked it to homeboy, kicked it to him, and shot it. You see that? There was no hesitation in the animation. It didn't freeze me. It was completely responsive. Look at this, man. Boom. I'm going to pass through there. Bang. I don't even want to receive it. I'm going to kick off the pass. And I was able to do that. And I'm going to play this video again from the beginning just to let you guys watch it again. And that's why I titled it Poetry in Motion. And to me, this is it, man. And then, that could transition us to the other topic. And I'm going to be honest there again. I don't have much to say about NHL because I don't know hockey. I don't know the rules. I'm called for icing quite often. But what I do know is how the game plays. How I can have fun with these games, and I'm a novice, a noob, a casual. I don't know the sports, but I can enjoy them as a simulation guy because it's replicating the things I expect to see from simulation sports games that are trying to be authentic. Again, player animation, the animation quality, player movement, physics on player and on ball or puck. Player interaction, which means AI and head tracking and all that. And you see all of this stuff happening in FIFA. Actually, you know what? I'm going to show y'all the other video. Give me a second. Let me show you another one that I did. And we're just going to let that play in the background. Hold on. Let me show you the first FIFA video that I put out of FIFA 22. And look at all the stuff that's happening in this clip. It's amazing. It is simply amazing. Hold on. Give me 2 seconds. It's amazing, man. It's just amazing at how these games, the interaction between players and such. Here it is. Like I said, as you can see there, nobody watches these. That people don't watch nothing else I do. If it ain't Madden related, well, now, Still and stuff, gets a little attention, but I swear they don't, Smitty. I know it's the algorithm. It's the algorithm in YouTube, but that's why, like now, they don't watch it, Smitty. I'm telling you.
They see the FIFA and they be like, oh, scroll by that.
Oh man, they ain't watching it. I'm telling you. They just don't. But I know it's the algorithm. I get it. And that's why I just put up content I enjoy, man. It ain't even about the numbers and stuff with some of this junk. But look at everything that happens here, man. And again, if you didn't see this video, it's like, again, I don't know how sim this game is or isn't. I will never challenge a soccer head, an extreme soccer guy. But look off in the distance. Check your boy out, how he gonna body my man up. First, he looks at him. Now he puts himself in position. Watch him. Watch this dude right there in the white. Ball is up. Now look at how far back. Right now, he's sizing up his opponent right there. All right, I'm going to body him up. I'm going in for the header. You know what that looks like to me? DB and wideout interaction. I'm going to body him up. I'm going to go get big on him. That's what that looked like to me. Look at homeboy behind him. Also in the white jersey. He was getting in place just in case the header didn't hit his head. It may have gone over his head. He was in place to secure the rebound, I guess is what you would call it. I don't know what you would call it there. And right here, I'm just showcasing the physics. But again, I don't even have to break this stuff down. Just look at the details of the physics, player interaction, animation quality. And right here, I did point this out. It didn't hit that wall right there. I'm going to nitpick it. It didn't hit the wall, but look at the rest of the physics. I can let that slide. So again, before I throw it to Smitty, this is the same way I feel about NHL, man. I don't know the ins and outs. I just know how the game feels. You can feel the physics. You can see the physics playing out. I posted a video of that game as well, showing how my man just put his head down and went in for the body check and knocked my man off his feet. But the way he fell and the way his body folded, everything looked authentic. The puck physics in that game is good. The settings, I mean, as far as the slider settings, is just, come on, man. It's so detailed. Boy, if we had that level of slider adjustment in Madden, so many things you would be able to adjust. But those are my light impressions of NHL, man. Like I said, I apologize if I can't really give you an opinion, but I don't know the game. I'm a novice to it. I'm just able to have fun with these games. I'm playing a franchise in FIFA right now, a career, and having fun. Couldn't tell you what I'm doing. I'm automating a whole lot of stuff because I don't know. I don't even know the positions. I don't know who I should get and who I shouldn't. I'm doing it on auto. I'm just having a good time because I'm getting this kind of gameplay, man. And see, I did it purposely. I'm playing in the MLS with Philly, just local. I didn't want no B squad. I just wanted to just go out there and play it because my point being, it's still a game. Like, the game should allow you to get great gameplay, whether it's Messi or some regular young rookie dude that, like some cat that's way down the bench.
Yeah.
You should still be able to get solid gameplay. And my goalie was getting off in this series. This was back to back to back. Like, come on, man. Come on, man. I swear, Smitty, I still don't understand it, man. EA makes these games, man. They just make it at a different studio. I don't. But yeah, like I was telling them, Smitty, I don't have much to add in terms of NHL because I don't know. I couldn't give you impressions on it. I kind of told them I feel the same way about that as I do with FIFA. I love the physics. I love the player interaction. I love the head tracking. I love the puck physics. But
yes,
I can't give an impression on whether or not it truly replicates hockey because I don't know. But it does encompass the things that we want to see in a football game. Proper physics playing out. Organic physics playing out. Y'all, the video I posted of NHL, I said, even in that video, listen, I don't know if this is 100% real time, but the way it played out really makes me believe it. How did my man fold it up and stuff? Like, that's all we want Madden to do. Even if you can't give us full-blown on-the-fly dynamic, it's got to be enough animations and physics to match the animations to make us at least believe what we're seeing is possible. That's it. And they said it, and shout outs to Brian Mazik. And, I always point out his interview. He said that, that kind of was the sentiment from both Clint and Grady, is that they prefer a marriage of physics and animation. Listen, that's fine as long as you really can tie your game together like that to where the animation is driven by the physics. That's the only way. I mean, even doing it the way they said, that's how you would do it. You heard me and Smitty say this millions of times. You have animations that trigger, but then you have physics that play out that augment animation. That's how you marry physics and animation. And the animations have to be able to be broken, i.e., Smitty is playing with his Lions, and I apologize. I don't know who you guys' receivers are, so I'll just give me one of your receivers. Oh, let's say my homeboy, Hawkinson. I know him. He's a tight end. Smitty throws it up to Hawkinson. Let's say they playing the Steelers. Hawkinson gets matched up on Terrell Edmonds or somebody like that. Hawkinson bodies him up. He goes up. Edmonds tries to get it, and they go into this animation. But guess what? Guess what? Here comes Minkah Fitzpatrick to intervene. He comes in, bam. All right, let me say this again while Smitty is back. So the example I was giving them, Smitty, you playing with the Detroit, and say you're playing against the Steelers, and I'm only using these teams because I know these guys right off hand. You throw it up to Hawkinson, bigger body than Terrell Edmonds. Him and Terrell Edmonds go up for the ball, and then all of a sudden, it might be a quote unquote sequence. Then all of a sudden, Minkah Fitzpatrick comes in and hits the pile. Then everybody should go like this, or the ball should go up, or maybe the ball gets tipped to Hawkinson. But you know what happens there, because Minkah came in with his physics, it completely changed the outcome of that animation. That's what we need from you, EA. If you cannot truly give us on the fly, real time animation, because sometimes it does get ugly. We remember Backbreaker. Sometimes it does look wonky. So if you can't do it, then that's the way you do it. And nobody's complaining.
Right.
Amongst the other stuff. I mean, it's tons of other things. I'm just talking about the physical aspect, but that's all I got. What you think, man? What you think about that NHL? What are your thoughts?
I mean, first thing, like the FIFA clips you shown, that's like I said many a times. If you want to see wide out and DB interactions, do them corner kick situations. That's wide out DB interactions like to the fullest. As you saw in the clip, dude swam around, got in position, tries to go up, and just think it and the size differences and all that stuff, the way it'll animate is different. But that shorter player will still try, and it's like the way he'll animate, it's not a two-man animation. It's like he has his own animation, and the guy he's trying to match up against has his own animation. And it's a beautiful thing when you got the independent physics as you showcase in that video. Like, the wild part about that is, see, game like NHL and FIFA, you can have some dynamic playing games because those elements are loose and freed up in the game. Like, I played a decent amount of NHL 22, and I can't tell the difference between players with X factors and who don't. I can't tell. They have them. It's not saying they don't have them or they're not effective. It's just the way the game plays. And this is what I said about FIFA once again. I've said this many times before on here about FIFA. FIFA has, I think they call them player traits or skills. And they're not some kind of souped up ability or anything like that. But the point of the matter is that they have abilities or skills or whatever, like, that further accentuate their ratings. So things they may not necessarily get some kind of special animation per se, but if they're a specialist with certain skills, like for example in soccer, they're great at crossing or they're great at throwing inbound passes. They do a good job of it. Those players will have that, well, you could call it, I'll just say badge for the sake of our discussion here. They'll have that badge on them, but can you tell they have something super powered or OP? No, you can't. Because the way the game plays, because the ebb and flow of how the game is. Like I made an example before. You can have Messi or Ronaldo, who clearly those guys are going to have a lot of ability badges, etc. But if you have them go up against a bigger, stronger guy, their physical stature is going to matter over their technique. Now, they may have a badge that says, oh, he could dribble through contact better and things like that and split defenders. Okay, cool. But if you try to rock the boat against a bigger guy and you keep trying to test that water, you're not just going to win. You're not just going to hold the ball forever. You're going to lose it because of the real-time impact, just like how Sim has here in the video clip. The dude he checked could have badges and all that stuff, right? But look at how the real-world situation is playing out. His size, his speed, force, etc. Boom. Like the positioning and everything, all of that came into play. And that's the point we're getting at. Like, that's the thing with playing NHL. If this guy that laid the hit, he could have an X factor or not. But his size, stature, position, speed at the time, and point of impact, I should say, positional impact point, that all matters.
Yep.
All of that stuff factors in. See, and that's the thing when we play NHL or we play FIFA, we're seeing these kind of things happen and unfold in this game, but we're not seeing it happen in Madden. And even there, like, and I know Sim said it in the video, you saw the little two-man animation-esque point where he got ready to hit him, but you still saw the real-time physics part come in at the same time. It just wasn't some override static animation. So it's like, if they're able to do that with that game, and they're able to do that with FIFA, you telling me that Madden can't have that? Madden could very easily have that. And that's why I say FIFA and their abilities, NHL with them having X factors now. See, I know some people going to be like, oh, here we go. But I'm playing the game and dude, it feels normal. Yeah, they have skills, but once again, to me at least, it looks more like it's just a little dash of, just a little dash, just a little bit of accent on top of what they're already capable of doing, animation wise, skill wise. The game is not turning into a complete arcade fest. And it's not looking like NHL hits on the ice or NHL open ice, if you remember that game.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, like you remember that arcade game. But still, it's that point. It doesn't look like arcade hockey. Now, once again, Sim and I are not the super duper ultra mega hardcore guys. I'm pretty sure there are hardcore guys that would say, oh man, it's got, all these issues and stuff. But the one thing that I can say, especially when I play NHL, is that these players feel different. They play different. They're not all just one and the same. And I'm pretty sure if I was someone who paid more attention to hockey, I would be able to appreciate this a lot more. I can't do that with NHL. I mean, not NHL, with NFL. I can't do that with Ultimate Team because they don't build it that way. And that's what sucks. I wish EA built it where the players were able to feel and play different, etc. But that's the way they choose to cut it. And I mean, look, you could have your wideout DB interactions, but you can be like how Sim's clip was in that NHL. Have that initial point where it may be a two-man anim kind of deal, but then after that, it gets completely let go. And now it's defender versus wide receiver versus wherever the ball is at, and then whoever else can get in the way to interfere with it. That's what ends up happening.
Yep.
And you let it play out. That's what they need to do, like with Madden, to be quite honest. excuse me, you know, who knows what 2K is going to do? Like we said before, it may not be a licensed game, but if they're able to do something that can give us like that super mega baseball kind of experience or whatever, something like that, they may be able to pull off some kind of real time physical thing with animations in their football game. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? But
and if
we
they
got to
do,
wait and see, like as far as that. But I would love to see Matt actually go down that road of making player movement and making uh zone play, AI, etc., all go hand in hand. And then you got those wide out DB interactions playing out that way in an organic fashion.
yeah,
Because, like what Sim said, he's playing a career mode in FIFA. He may not know the ins and outs of it, but the bottom line is players are going to play and feel differently in the game for sure. Everyone's not going to just be, it's not going to be placebo. You know what I'm saying? Um, their aptitude actually has attributes tied to it that showcase that aptitude. You know what I'm saying? Whereas Madden, it all comes down to how the play functions. If it functions properly or not, like what Zan did with Jalen Ramsey. When Clint made his point saying, like, oh yeah, as it gets closer to December and everybody's got juice up teams, will have it tuned. But I'm like, yeah, but he went into the practice field and shown Jalen Ramsey, I think it was cover 3. And I mean, my man was way off. And he's got the best man and zone coverage, or best zone
yeah.
coverage in the game.
Jalen Ramsey is Jalen Ramsey. I don't care.
Yeah. I
Come on,
mean,
man.
but see my point. I'm just saying though, as far as the technical video game standpoint, my man could be a 75 overall. There's no way he should have covered that way. And that's the point. Madden, it's like Madden has this core fundamental problem. And you can't just keep on innovating right now. It's like you keep putting lipstick on a pig and claiming it's cute. You're going to keep slapping lipstick on the pig and you're going to make sure everybody says it's cute, even though people know it look butt ugly. But that's the case with Madden. It's like they add another feature, add another feature, add another feature, add this, add. Yeah, but we still got all these problems though. Add. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like that's what's going on. So
They need to
that's
turn
why,
that pig into bacon.
yeah.
Scrap it, cook it, start over.
So
Man.
that's why you be seeing Sim and I, like really not saying anything. I mean, I'm with Sim, like, we talked to our dude. Well, I talked to Sabo earlier, and he had posted on Twitter, so I had hit him up like, "Yo, like, were there any mods? Anything y'all could do to the gameplay on the PC version?" He was like, other than just tinkering with player movement a little bit, because remember, they don't have the next gen version. They got the PS4 version basically on PC. So it was like, other than some presentation overlay stuff, they can't do nothing to the game. So unfortunately, so no mods really come from them. But that sucks. You know what I mean? Like the game, that's what just makes it so disheartening. It's like this game just could be this game should be so much freaking better. And going back to what you were saying earlier, Sim, about the whole FIFA letting that license go, I would love to do that, but see, once again, it's like EA is able to pull up some kind of factual data to support their claims. Hey, our numbers are going up, up, up. You know what I mean? So I don't know, man. Like I said, I'm
Yeah.
not putting. You already know we ain't putting our eggs in one basket for that 2K. But it's just like I hope that the game that they are able to make does end up pushing Madden for real. So I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, man. And I will agree with what Radical Sim is saying. It does have its moments. He says Madden simulation can compete with any simulation when it's on Super Sim slow 15 minutes. Have never tried that. He also says Madden does simulate the emotional ups and downs of watching an NFL game. I will actually agree with him to a degree and follow what I'm saying. Because Radical Sim has said he plays on all Madden as well. I've played on all Madden default, had good games. You guys have seen it. You know, when the game first came out, all of those games I was posting, you know, just raw gameplay, no commentary, nothing, all Madden Sim. I also found a guy, shout outs to, I hope, you know, if some of you guys know him or have heard him as well, please let him know that I shouted out his sliders. His name is Sirius Mac, I think. I've plugged in some of his sliders for all Madden. I like the way the game plays, but needless to say, when the game is on all Madden, you can have a decent time with Madden in its current state. You can. I do like the whole thing that they added, you know, with the home field advantage and, you know, the dynamic game day. I do like that. It does add a different element. I ain't gonna front, especially when you get in trouble and the screen starts swaying and it draws your view back a little bit. I like that. Because, like what my man Radical is saying, it does make you feel like, yo, I got to get a first down or two to calm it back down. I love that element. And there's room to build around this game. And it's, to me personally, again, Madden 22 on next-gen consoles is not, in my opinion, it's not a trash game. Most of my beef with Madden or my critiques of Madden is the stuff that is still not doing that it should be doing. But I've said many times over for the last couple years, on the field, if they just adjust a few things, the stuff me and Smitty has talked about, make it more dynamic, make it more physics-based. Start removing the two-man control sequences, right? And they've started to do it because you don't see it as much in the catching game. They advertise that. You shouldn't see it at all with rack catches and things like that. And sometimes you don't really see it in the two-man. Yet it could still happen in the two-man. They also did shorten the distance. So that's why you guys have noticed you're not really seeing warps the way you used to in the past. You might still see one minor one here and there, but it's nowhere near like it was last year, the year before. So if they can keep doing that and move that to to DB wideout interactions all the way through from the line to the catch point, if they can somehow eliminate two-man animation where, you're stuck in a sequence in the trenches, whole different game. And then, of course, they have got to do something with coverage. Has the coverage improved since the most recent patch? It has, but there's still issues. Me personally, I think they just need to rewrite. I don't believe that they're still able to fix coverage, because what has happened every year so far, for at least the last 4 years or so, they keep tuning and tuning and tuning. But once they tune one thing, then it comes unbalanced here or it breaks there. That means that what is currently there can't be adjusted much more. I think it needs a rewrite, right? And if you rewrite it, it has got to get to the point where you have your rules in there, because they got rules, they got concepts in the game. Sometimes they don't play out correctly, but they do have a lot of concepts in the game, even with match coverage and all that stuff. They got to make those things play out more consistently. But on top of that, you got to get the game to where it's reactive. You got to get it to where it's reactive. Because I did find out, by the way, speaking with a couple of the devs, I did kind of find out why guys now do. Sometimes they'll turn their back. I've showed it in my video where they'll turn and run to a spot. And I was kind of explained to me why that is. And it does make sense from a general standpoint. This is what I was told. The guys who are playing deep thirds and stuff like that, if a certain guy is at a certain distance from them, they turn and haul tail to their spot so they're not getting beat over the top. In theory, I get that, because even in real football, the coach will tell you that. Don't get beat over the top. And if you get caught at a certain spot, you better haul tail back to your area. Only problem is, in a video game, we just see them turn and run, right? Doesn't look that good. It's not aesthetically pleasing. So I don't have a problem. Something's choking me up, guys. I need some water. I don't really have a problem with in theory, what they're trying to accomplish in those situations. But this is where they need to get it to where the players can react. What I mean is this. If you're playing a little too tight, right? Say the guy's coming right at you and he runs a corner route and you're playing the deep third, you're safety. You're playing over the top. Instead of just turning blindly and running, how about just keep him engaged with the receiver? If he's the only threat, continue in your back pedal and then turn and run with him. Don't just turn like this, leave him, and then go looking for him. Because nobody does that. Nobody does that in the real world. If they can see who the threat is and he's still in front of them, they don't turn their back just to get to their deepest point and then turn back around. No, what they do is stay engaged with them and run with them. The only time dudes turn their back and haul tail like that, Steeler fans, remember when we played the Raiders? Remember when Carr threw that deep bomb to Ruggs and Minka Fitzpatrick first stepped up and he tried to play underneath to help out with Waller? Then he realized, whoa, what did he do? Turned and got on his horse. Almost got there, but almost don't count. That's the only time a safety or secondary player literally turns and just booking it. When you know, oh, I know where the route is going. You don't do it when the receiver is still in front of you. You don't. You just don't. At most, you try to widen up your back pedal, but you keep your eyes on him. And if you got to turn and run, you running with him like this. And that's what they need to do differently, in my opinion, in coverage. You've got to play your depth, understand where you got to get to, but then also read the action. They got to find a way to where these guys are reading what's going on. Ratings should still matter. So the great players would do it better. The real good safeties would do it better. They'll be more on top of their game, where other guys might get beat occasionally, or the real bad guys might be in the wrong spot. I'm just saying, from a concept standpoint, like I said, on the surface, what they're doing in those situations is correct. They're programmed to where the guys recognize it. I got to get back, but it just doesn't look good in the game when there's a corner route and the dude turns his back and runs way back and just allows this guy to go into, you know what I'm saying? So it's like I said before, it's not a horrible game. It's just the little details that is lacking. That type of stuff in coverage. And then you have to get the interactions in this game to be more dynamic. Those two things alone takes Madden from being to wow. It's that simple. Like I'm being honest. Some people might not agree with me, but everything else is pretty much there. It is. They've gotten player movement to a relatively decent level. You can still improve on it. But the next thing they got to do, man, like I said, is it all comes down to player interaction and animation quality. And you start going away from those controlled sequences, open it up. And then, like I said, you got to get the AI to start playing situations, even in the trenches. I say this all the time. You watching this football game, ain't you? Smitty talked about Aaron Donald earlier. When y'all watch Aaron Donald, what is he doing when the ball hikes? He's not just worrying about this dude. I'm using this microphone as the guy. He ain't worrying about this dude right here. He's doing this and looking to see where the ball is to know where he's going to take this dude or where he's going to discard this guy. Oh, ball going over here. Get off of me. He throws this dude to his left and he goes to the ball. That is another thing that's missing in the game. In the trenches, they're not really tracking the play. And I'm telling y'all, man, it sounds simple, but it is simple. Now, I don't know how simple it is in terms of programming. I'm just saying, in terms of defense, if you focus on head tracking and reading the action and focus on players' interaction, Madden is a completely different game. Just think about that for a second. Remove all of the times you felt like you was in a two-man control sequence. Remove that. You feel different about Madden. And then, one of Smitty's favorites, then you start getting to the passing game. Because you know what, Smitty, the more I think about it, I think that's the reason why the passing game hasn't evolved the way it needed to. Because those animations. I think that's part of the reason why the passing game has not evolved to a level to where it needs to, because the animations are not one-to-one enough to allow you to place. Just my theory. But
no,
I don't know,
that's like
man.
what Rex pointed out to us in the past, Sim. Like, remember when they added the 400 plus catch animations, but we were only seeing like 5 or 6? It's like because of how they have the passing, how it was programmed in the game, how they have it set up is that, excuse me, they're only able to, dang, I'm trying to think of what Rex had said. Oh yeah, the thing is they have catch buckets. Like, as far as depending upon where the ball is thrown at, there are certain positions, certain spots where the ball is thrown where certain animations can trigger.
Yeah.
So it's like you have it in a box like that where it can be set up, but you need to make it where it's more organic and unique with that. Because if you have pass control where the ball can go anywhere, like over a 180-degree span, basically, it can go anywhere in that area, high or low, high, mid-level, or low.
Mm-hmm.
We wouldn't be having this conversation right now because of what they would give you in the game would be to that level. So until they do that, I really. Oh, okay. Oh, they're knocked out. Okay. Sorry, y'all. I'm just moving to a different room here for a second. Okay, here we go. All right. So until they do that, I mean, that's why they'll be forever stuck in that same circular loop. Because look at what FIFA has. Look at what NHL has. These are games under your umbrella. That puck, bruh. I had a goal where the puck literally got underneath the goalie's knee pad. Like, my goalie, I don't know what move it is,
similar to that.
but it's like my goalie dropped his knee. You know what? It's not what they do splits, but it's like he dropped to his knees to stop the puck. But it was like as he started to raise one of his legs up, my guy hit the puck. And because his knee wasn't all the way up, it was able to slide just by the pad and between his legs where there was no pad at. And it went in for a goal. And then I had another one where I shot the puck and it bounced off the bottom of the goalie's glove off of his back leg and into the net. You know what I'm saying? It's like you have those instances happening in that game, just similar to Sims Video, where the ball physics are respectfully playing out based upon the actions taken, whether accidental or what. Like, you try to stop the goal and it ends up going in your net.
Mm-hmm.
It happens in FIFA at times. Like it happens in FIFA, but it happens in the real world at times. You see guys that are trying to stop the ball, and it ends up going into their own net as they're trying to stop it. Like they touch the ball, but the angle that they hit the ball at, it ends up bouncing in or going in or whatever because of it. Same thing can happen in FIFA. So it's like I don't watch Premier League soccer like that or whatever, but I can see how FIFA does resemble those games because, like, from the general ebb and flow standpoint,
Yeah.
it does mimic it. But does it mimic it to the T? No, but they do a good job of replicating it. Like they do a much better job of replicating FIFA and NHL than they like. And I'm saying, if you took an actual telecast of hockey, an actual telecast of soccer, and one of the NFL, Madden would be dead last. And I mean, it wouldn't even be laughable how far behind it would be. So that's the issue. That's the issue we got going on with EA. You know what I'm saying? Or I should say when it comes to Madden. But that's why
Yeah,
we move
man.
on and play other games, man. That's what you got to do that. You know what I'm saying? Like Sim said, he's playing a FIFA thing. I got to get my NHL joint started. And you know what I'm saying as well. And I mean, look, like I said, looking for the Battlefield, of course.
Oh man.
But there's other games out here too that people are going to be rocking out on. You know what I mean? And it's like, why stay playing just the same game or same kind of games when people aren't really going to appreciate it? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not. I mean, not people going to appreciate it, but it's hard to appreciate the work being done when the gameplay is so tough. Like, I haven't even played Madden since the scouting update. You know what I'm saying? And it's like I do want to dabble in it just so that I can have a feel for the scouting system, which I'll do it. I'll do it just so that I have a feel for how it plays out. But overall, no, man. Cause the gameplay ain't there. And that's the thing. Gameplay is how the game plays. How can I evaluate how good my corners are? Well, not we know how bad they're battling lions, but what I'm saying is, excuse me, excuse me. How can I honestly evaluate an individual in Madden when everybody feels dang near the same? I can't really see how effective a player is or isn't for me because of how Madden plays. And that's when I think of Backbreaker, because Backbreaker, if you have an offensive end, or if you have, let's say you have an average defensive line, but you got this monster of a defensive end, he's going to organically wreak havoc, especially if his form is good. He's going to wreak havoc on that side of the line. You see what I'm saying? And it shows. But in Madden, it's like, oh, he's got high ratings, so he should be able to get around these guys. I'm like, yeah, but it's a scripted sequential play all the way through. But there's nothing organic about the play outcome. So positioning doesn't matter, momentum doesn't matter. It's like it negates a lot of the things that should matter
Yeah.
when it
Yeah.
comes to that. Like, how you got a game in NHL respecting positioning on a hit, even though it is a two-man anthem. You see what I'm saying? But in Madden, we don't have that kind of thing when we should. Like, yeah, he can clown, like we talk about the game and we try to give it its chances, but it's like, I'm sorry, man. EA got to do more, man. They got to do a heck of a lot more, and that's why I'll just say it again. I really, really, really wish 2K could push them. I really wish they could. I don't know. Who knows what kind of game they'll put out, but I really do hope that they could push EA and to get them to make us a better game across the board instead of what we got right now. So,
yeah,
I don't
man.
know.
It's just like I said, man. Even if they can't, and we can end with that. Even if they can't do it fully organic, I don't know. I mean, I don't know if you can make the trenches fully organic. I mean, like we said, we saw full blown organic physics in Backbreaker, but we also saw the shortcomings that Backbreaker had. So who knows? But the stuff that I showed tonight in the FIFA clip, you got to be able to produce stuff like that in Madden in terms of how guys are trying to body each other up and reaching and grabbing. I mean, there's got to be ways to do that in the trenches to where the animations are triggering, but certain things come into play. If he hits the arm the right way, or if he gets under the shoulder the right way. I mean, again, I'm not saying it's easy, but there's got to be a way to make the game a little more organic. A little more organic. And that's all we're asking for, because there's too many games nowadays, man, that are doing these things. Is it harder in football? Sure, because you got contact, physical contact on every play. But like I said, and I'll say this, and then we can get up out of here. For those of us who have found decent time playing all Madden, with or without sliders, just imagine those games when the sequenced animations are not happening. It's more on the fly stuff. You're not seeing repetitive animations because of, like Smitty said, a certain place where the ball was thrown and this triggers. No, get away from that. Like, I want this game again. If we're gonna go by what Clint and Grady said, they want to marry animation and physics. Okay, so if you're gonna do that, you have to have thousands on thousands on thousands of animations, and physics has to be made to change, augment, interrupt, etc. said animation at any time. And you see where in some areas it happens. You see it happen more so in tackles, where those can be interrupted and physics can augment the outcome. And sometimes the momentum creeps up in there from time to time. They have to find a way to spread that across the entire game. You do that, you rewrite the AI somewhat, or do something with the AI to where, the whole coverage system is just totally different and it's not so static. You got a game then. Then you can add to this and add to that, and you know what I'm saying? But you gotta, I know it sounds simple, but those basics have to be addressed. Can't keep piling on top of those things, because the ugly head is gonna rear itself at some point if you keep just piling on old stuff. You gotta dig out the foundation, fix the foundation, and then you add to it. And then stuff like refs and all that, because I've seen people say that. Dog, I want all of that too, but it don't matter at this point. Like, what refs on the field does nothing for the game right now. I mean, I know we like aesthetics and all that, but honestly, man, what good is it if you know what I'm saying? Like, I want all of that to be there and all of that to work together. I don't want it to just look pretty and it's still we're not happy with the gameplay. I want it all to be there, but at this point, though, that's the furthest thing from my mind, is the refs not being on the field. I don't care about any of it. Because honestly, two next gen things that I think would be great. I like to even see the chain gang actually return, where they coming out to do, or officially coming out to do a measurement and all of that. I want stuff like that. And this is next level. I want to see a game that has real-time injuries that's based on physics.
Oh yeah.
Woo! Because I saw somebody in the comments say, I think it was Radical Sim in the NHL clip I shown. He said that dude ain't never gonna play again. Look how his leg bent. Dog, when we get to a game like that, where they can build the exoskeleton and all that, to where it's the physics and the pressure points and all that can be touched, broken, stretched, torn. Now that's some next gen stuff. That the first game to do that, yeah. And I'm not talking about real time on the fly injuries like we saw back in the day. Yeah, we all seen the clip of Jennings running, holding this. No, that's still pre-scripted. I'm talking about that, but the physics in the game dictates the actual injury. That's something we ain't ever seen before. That would be, and that's where you would think it's 2021. You would think by now we would see something like that in these sports games. But who knows? Maybe that's down the road. But
Yeah,
that would be nuts, though.
that
Be
would.
nuts. That
I
would be
agree.
completely nuts. Wow. But all right, guys, I guess we'll go ahead and wrap up, man. This is a good game here. 10-7. It's halftime. Packers are up. And if the Packers win, I guess you could say they're potentially the best team in the NFC, being 7-1 at that case. If the Cardinals win, then they'll continue to be the best team record-wise in the NFC at 8-0. So this is a pretty important game, I guess, for bragging rights. But all right, man, I hope everybody has a great rest of the week. If you are a Packers or a Cardinals fan, good luck. Keep watching. Let's see how that transpires. Basketball is on. Be safe out there if you're taking your little ones trick or treating on Sunday. And unless you're a Cleveland Brown, good luck to your team this week. But other than that, be safe. God bless. Good night. Thanks for tuning in. And we catch you guys next time. Peace.
Peace.